Look at what's happening in California. This is, I think, a classic example. There's been a drought in California for as long as I can remember. But the current drought is said to be 4 years, said to be the severest drought anybody alive can remember. The snowpack doesn't exist in places that there are usually feet of it waiting to melt and provide fresh water sources and resources for the entire state. Well, this is a crisis made to order for the left. Because don't you know, here's Governor Moonbeam running around now slapping restrictions on water usage statewide, blaming it on global warming, climate change, and claiming that they have all decided, scientists have agreed, there's a consensus that says this is permanent. This is not part of an elongated weather cycle, meteorological cycle that will eventually end with another 100-year flood and blah, blah. This is permanent. This drought is forever. This is the new California. And there isn't enough water to sustain the people that live here. There are too many people that live here. There were never this many people intended to live here. 40 million? No way, it's impossible. So the left is salivating at the chance, at the opportunity to once again move in and further dictate and control behavior and life. And slap restrictions, further restrictions on the actual veritable freedom of the people in California. And they end up getting many people in California to agree with them because it's all about, they've set the table well. They've told these people for decades that this was going to happen. They've accused them of destroying the climate, destroying the planet. And now you've done it. You didn't listen to us these last 20 years, and you didn't reduce your carbon emissions, and you didn't start driving enough electric cars or whatever the hell. And now look, now it's permanent. It isn't permanent, but even nobody knows. It cannot be established, but it's just a political statement that it is. Now, I read a piece at redstate.com today posted by Seton Motley, and this is a good thought, that the next thing to happen with this is the federal government will come in and try to nationalize this. And I don't doubt that for us. I don't doubt that Obama is salivating over the opportunity to get in front of and exert total control over the drought and the water restrictions and everything involved with that in California, because this is what they are absorbed with. They are just consumed with this desire to control people, to control the way people live, and to inflict and mete out punishment. So people likely going to end up with water meters in their house, and their usage is going to be monitored. And there will be heavy fines for people. The average shower said to be no longer than 5 minutes, and if you go over that, the minimum fine could be in the hundreds of dollars. All this still being formulated now, but these are some of the preliminaries. All because some politician and a bunch of pseudoscientists claim it's permanent. This permanent damage brought on by profligate climate change, brought on by selfish Americans. But here come the guys on the white horses to save the day, to save the state from the very people who have destroyed it. And I mentioned Carly Fiorina earlier. Carly Fiorina, she former CEO of Hewlett-Packard, a former Republican candidate. She ran for the Senate in California. She was part of the McCain team back in 2008. But she is on fire, taking on everybody, and particularly in California, and she is blaming liberal environmentalist wackos for what she calls a man-made drought in California. She said this is a man-made disaster. She's considering running for president in 2016. She says that California is a classic case of liberals being willing to sacrifice other people's lives and livelihoods at the altar of their ideology. It is a tragedy. Tragedy of California because of liberal environmentalists' insistence, despite the fact that California has suffered from droughts for millennia. Liberal environmentalists have prevented the building of a single new reservoir or a single new water conveyance system over decades during a period in which California's population has doubled. There is a man-made lack of water in California, and Washington manages the water for the farmers. And she's right. I got to take a break. I just saw the clock again. Gee whiz!